You don't miss them. Not really. You miss the version of yourself that finally made sense. When they needed you, life felt clearer. You woke up knowing why you mattered. You knew your place. You knew your role. And now that they're gone, it's not just quiet. It feels like you don't know who you are anymore. That's the part no one talks about. Because when people say, "I miss them," what they're really saying is, "I miss who I was when someone needed me." Think about what your mind keeps replaying. Not their face, not their voice, not even the good moments. It's the moments where you were chosen. The late-night message that came to you, the problem only you could solve, the trust that made you feel essential. That feeling becomes addictive, not because you're weak, not because you're dependent, but because being needed gave your life structure. And when that disappears, your mind doesn't just lose a person, it loses direction. Psychology has a name for this, but you don't need the label to feel it. Your sense of self was being reflected back to you through someone else. They looked at you, and in their need, you saw yourself as valuable. When they left, they didn't just walk away. They took the mirror with them. So now, you're left asking questions that feel bigger than heartbreak. Why do I feel empty? Why does nothing hit the same anymore? Why do I feel invisible even when people are around? Because a part of your identity went offline. Your identity isn't one solid thing. It's made of roles. Different versions of you wake up in different situations. The professional version, the friend version, the quiet version, and the version that exists when someone needs you. That last one was active all the time. Every time you helped, every time you were relied on, every time you mattered to someone. Your brain rewarded that role, not because you're chasing validation, but because for most of human history, being useful meant survival. Being needed meant you belonged. So when that role disappears, your brain treats it like a threat. That's why you overthink. That's why you replay memories. That's why you feel anxious, restless, or strangely numb. You're not just missing a person, you're grieving a version of yourself that you don't know how to be anymore. And here's the part that matters most. Nothing is wrong with you. This reaction is human, but staying stuck here happens for one reason. You tied your sense of purpose to one place, one person, one context. So let's change that. Not by forcing yourself to move on, not by pretending you don't care, but by rebuilding your identity properly. Start by separating the person from the role. Ask yourself this honestly. What did I do for them that made me feel alive? Did I listen? Did I guide? Did I protect? Did I solve? That role didn't belong to them. It belongs to you. It's still inside you. It's just waiting for a new place to exist. The mistake most people make is trying to kill that need. Don't suppress it. Redirect it. Your mind doesn't crave one specific person. It craves purpose, contribution, impact. Find a new direction for that energy. Create something. Teach what you know. Help without disappearing into someone. Build something that doesn't collapse when one person leaves. And at the same time, you need to learn something harder. How to matter to yourself. When you only know your worth through other people, silence feels unbearable. So start small. Each day, notice one thing you did that mattered, even if no one clapped for it. You showed up. You followed through. You kept going. You're teaching your brain a new truth. I don't only exist when someone needs me. And finally, give yourself permission to grieve the identity you lost. That version of you was real. It served a purpose. It mattered. but it was also tied to a moment that no longer exists. You're not broken for missing it. You're growing past it. Think of yourself like a lighthouse. For a long time, you thought your light mattered because one ship needed it. When that ship left, you thought the light went out. But the light was never theirs. It was always yours. Now you're learning how to let it shine without disappearing into one person. Not because you need to be needed, but because you have something real to give. And that changes everything. You don't miss them. You miss the clarity of knowing you mattered. And the truth is, you still do, just not in the same way. If this video put words to something you've been feeling quietly, you're not alone. This channel exists for moments like this. Subscribe to Psyfera for psychology that doesn't just explain the mind,